This restaurant was supposed to fail, not because the food was bad, but because it was never meant to become a restaurant chain. In fact, Chipotle was only supposed to exist long enough to pay for something else. But one unexpected decision changed the future of fast food, because the man behind Chipotle never wanted to build Chipotle. He wanted to build something completely different, and somehow McDonald's became part of the story. But if Chipotle became one of America's biggest success stories, why did its founder almost never build it in the first place? Steve Ells wasn't dreaming about burritos. After graduating from the Culinary Institute of America, he worked under renowned chef Jeremiah Tower at the celebrated Stars restaurant in San Francisco. His dream wasn't fast food. It was opening his own fine dining restaurant. There was just one problem. Fine dining takes serious money. Rent, equipment, staff, investors. And Steve didn't have it. So he came up with what seemed like a temporary solution. Open one small burrito restaurant, earn enough money, then build the restaurant he actually wanted. Chipotle was never supposed to be the dream. It was only supposed to pay for the dream. In 1993, Steve borrowed about $85,000 from his father. He opened the first Chipotle near the University of Denver. His calculations were surprisingly specific. If he could sell 107 burritos a day, the restaurant would survive. Instead, people kept showing up. Lunch became busy. Dinner became busy. Lines stretched outside. Soon, Chipotle wasn't selling just over 100 burritos a day. It was selling hundreds. Eventually, around 1,000 every day. Steve suddenly faced a decision he had never planned for. Every successful day made it harder to walk away. Every new customer pulled him further from the fine dining career he'd spent years preparing for. Then he made one decision. He gave up on opening the restaurant he'd always imagined and bet everything on Chipotle. Chipotle was growing, but turning a handful of restaurants into a national brand takes more than great food. It takes money, experience, and someone willing to bet on you. That company was McDonald's. Yes, that McDonald's. The world's biggest fast food chain invested in the tiny burrito company. The partnership helped Chipotle expand across the country. But here's the irony. Chipotle was trying to convince customers it was different from traditional fast food, while one of the biggest fast food companies in history was helping it grow. Years later, McDonald's sold its investment. The return? More than $1 billion from a restaurant that wasn't even supposed to be the destination. Most fast food chains competed by offering more sandwiches, more sides, more menu choices. Chipotle took a completely different approach. A surprisingly small menu. Fresh ingredients prepared in the restaurant. One serving line. And customers built every meal themselves. Instead of hundreds of menu items, Chipotle used a relatively small number of fresh ingredients to create thousands of possible combinations. It felt faster, it felt fresher, and people loved it. The temporary burrito shop had become one of America's fastest-growing restaurant brands. Then, everything changed. In 2015, Chipotle was hit by a series of food safety outbreaks, including E. coli and norovirus cases across multiple states. For a company built on the promise of fresh ingredients, this wasn't just bad publicity. It struck at the very reason customers trusted the brand. Sales dropped. Customers stayed away. Many wondered whether Chipotle's best days were over. The company responded by overhauling its food safety procedures. It expanded digital ordering, invested in pickup and delivery, introduced Chipotlanes. Slowly, customers returned. Chipotle didn't just have to sell burritos again, it had to earn back trust. Today, Chipotle serves millions of customers around the world. But what's remarkable isn't how many restaurants it has. It's how the entire company began. Steve Ells set out to build a refined restaurant where food would be taken seriously. In an unexpected way, he did. It simply had a counter instead of white tablecloths, burritos instead of tasting menus, and thousands of locations instead of one. Chipotle wasn't supposed to become a chain. It wasn't supposed to change fast food. It wasn't even supposed to exist for very long. It was simply meant to pay for another dream. Instead, it became the dream.